Alright. So, you know, you got all these people that are doing these messed up Dear President Trump letters on the internet, and then they probably never send them to him because they don't have the balls or something. I don't know. They're probably just farting around on the internet, having a little fun. But, alright, if I did one of them, oh, yeah, first to the Secret Service people, uh, that have to watch all this shit whether you want to or not. Hey, thanks for the view. Sorry, I couldn't resist that one. If you ain't figured out that I am a harmless entity and there is absolutely no politician on the face of the earth that's worth the jail time to me, including Obama with that big ass price tag on his head. You're pretty stupid. You got to be borderline retarded if you think that there's a politician worth the jail time to me. So that all being said, let's have a little fun. These guys, you know, you've got. All right, let's start it right like they do. Sorry, I'm messing this up. I mean, I'm not even stoned yet. I'm still having coffee. So that's what's wrong. I mean, there's way too much blood in my THC stream right now. Y'all think I'm kidding. But, it's, okay, let's start it right. Dear President Trump. And in my case, I've got to add a sir at the beginning. Actually, I'm retired. I don't know if I have to do that anymore. But, all right, let's start with the Patel and Bongo Boy. I'm sorry. I like that joke better than I like his real name. Oh well. Patel, Bongo Boy, and what's the other one that's in that mess? I don't know. There's three of them in it, though. And, you know, Homan, that's the other one's name. One from Homeland Insecurity. You know, they complain publicly all over the place about there being a war on police, and I'm not the only one. I know I'm not alone by far, way by far. And in fact, the derivative impression I get from a lot of the internet is that the general sentiment is these people were hired not because of their actual abilities in regards to working for the FBI or Homeland Insecurity, but because of their social media and influencing abilities and the fact that they look pretty in front of a camera. And that, I gotta give them, they do seem to be intentionally escalating the war on police, which is faked up on their side anyway. I'll get to that in a minute. For the purposes of ad revenue, clickbait money, because two, Patel and Bongo Boy, not so much Homan. Homan actually, at best. But, you know, at least he gets a half a vote of confidence. The other two seem to be radical crazies, and Homan does too, in regards to allowing their officers to continue to get away with actually committing crimes. I'm not talking about the few good cops that there are out there. Those we need. And I don't buy that it's just a few bad apples. I'll get into that in a minute too. I'll cover that hopefully during this video. I believe it to be about half of them that are bad. But, you know, when these guys are, let's take Patel for instance. Patel, instead of doing anything, and Bongo Boy too, instead of doing anything to solve their created, agitated the war on police that they're trying to stir up. Because they're taking occurrences that happen at about the same frequency as they are now. There's not much of an increase over the years versus now. And they're pretending it's suddenly a war on police, and it's not. But Patel took the approach that he would threaten the public. If you come after it, we're gonna fuck you up. That's not exactly what he said, but that's what it came down to. That's what most people perceived it as. And Bongino, I'm not sure if he really said it or not, because the source is kind of clickbaity, big time. But he said that, so he was talking in context of at the FBI. He said that we don't need to trust him. Well, sir, if he really said that, then we need to get rid of him, because if we can't trust those in our law enforcement agencies, we need new ones. That's common sense. You have to be able to trust those in law enforcement. And that raises another issue on those masks and stuff that everybody's complaining about. Cops like to break the law. They love to break the laws that they're sworn to uphold. From the former prison guard that lives directly behind me on Rainbow here, First House, who made the mistake. I mean, we were friends for quite a while. He's kind of a bootstrap relative, so I did have to, but he told me about him and his buddies getting coked up and going in the cells, beating up on inmates. I tried to be friends with him for a while after that, but all I can do when I look at the man is, he belongs in that prison that he worked at. It's the only thing that runs through my head, and I can't keep my mouth shut about it. So I avoid him. Because, like I say, he's kind of a bootstrap relative, and, if the old lady ever wants to get along with him again, I'd like to leave that option open for her. Otherwise, I consider when one who is sworn to uphold the law chooses to break the law, they have at that point in time become the lowest form of criminal scum on the face of the earth. And I don't care if it's just illegal parking. If you want to actually solve the war on police, start putting the police in jail. And I have a very easy way you can do that. It's within your presidential powers. Your judges at the all right, let's just make it simple so everyone can understand. The judges at the lawsuit level and the judges in the criminal court level currently in play within the statute of limitations. There are hundreds, actually thousands if you include the state levels, of cases where it has been proven that the officers actually committed crimes, and in most of these cases the people had to be released. But the thing is the judges did not refer those officers to prosecution. And the prosecutors didn't pick up the ball. And either one of them, it is actually their duty to do so. A judge being sworn to uphold the law, when in his courtroom discovers that a crime has been committed, is obligated to refer that. He's not obligated to prosecute, but he's obligated by his very job to refer it for prosecution. This never happens. I mean, it might happen on civilians, but it very, maybe 1 in 400,000 years you'll see it happen to a cop. And that is the core of the problem. People see these cops breaking the laws all the time. And I keep my mouth shut pretty much, but I've been in the back room and fucking listen to these local Leos Fed boys are the worst. And I understand it's part of training. Whether you went through Hogan's Alley or you went through your state police academy or whatever Leo Training Center you guys in your particular area use or call it. They train you to, and it's also, I think, what was it, in one of the criminology courses too. They train you that it's a psychological trick to endear people to themselves, to the officer telling the story, just, here man, I committed this crime, haha, this should endear me to you. No, it generally does not. I mean, about half the people that are actually scared of cops, or the quarter of people that kiss ass, they may go along with that, but the normal person, when a cop tells them that they committed a crime, it does not, regardless of what they taught you in your criminology course or your academy or whatever, at Hogan's Alley, I don't care, intelligence campus, take your pick. It does not endear these officers to the normal person. It makes the normal person think, this is a criminal motherfucker, there's no way he should have a badge. And that makes them all look bad. And that's part of what's generating the public animosity is these officers for decades and decades and decades have gotten away with committing crimes, whether it's speeding, illegal parking. No one ever does anything to them. We've had body cams out there for 15 years. Tens of thousands of cases where people could have gotten the officers convicted had they known how, for crimes actually committed by the officers. And now let's get back to the masks that they're wearing lately. If I can't identify someone coming up on me, I'm not worried about, motherfucker steals from me or shoots my dog. I will go hunt him down later, right? I understand that concept, yeah. But if they do commit a crime, it's almost impossible to identify these people. And therefore, they are automatically a threat to any individual's safety. Because right there, if they're wearing that mask, they're willing to commit a crime. They're trying to disguise themselves so that if they or one of their buddies during that arrest or whatever the hell they're doing at the time does commit a crime, well, it's a lot harder to identify them and get it fixed, especially with the name tags obscured. You noticing in a lot of these videos they're wearing a field Velcro over the top of it? Neat. Not good, boys. You're supposed to properly identify yourselves at any level of law enforcement. They are supposed to properly identify themselves. I mean, and that's pathetic too. I mean, let's go to Trooper Hall in North Alabama. This was 97 or 98, somewhere in there. Maybe 99. Trooper, I ran across that one in person. I was in one of the little mini marts, kind of catty corner across from the street from the motel I was staying at. And State Trooper Hall had about 8 kids already in handcuffs, and he's back there yelling at them, screaming at them, pushing on them like a steroid raging fucking lunatic. I walked around the corner of the store, leaned up against the ice machine, and ended out in handcuffs myself for saying that I'm here to be a witness in case they need one against you, because you are not acting in a professional manner. I may not have said it exactly that way, but I was about that calm. This little scumbag piece of shit. I should have pulled it a different way. I should have just turned in the cameras, because I knew the store owner. Well, I knew him well enough I could have handed him a 50 and got a copy of the tapes. Let's put it that way. But hindsight's 20/20. But when his other officers did when other officers did show up at the scene, because I wanted to see his supervisor, they did not arrest him for unlawfully putting me in those handcuffs. Now, he was the threat to my safety, not the other way around. I was just there because he was threatening the safety of those kids. I was more than 50 feet away, made that clear to him. I was just there to be a witness in case they needed one, because he was acting like a steroid-raging little fucking asshole. I did catch him later and beat his goddamn ass over putting me in the handcuffs, though. But he deserved it. Okay, so let's move on. You've got TSA. They've been bothering people for years and years and years, and they've never caught a single terrorist. They have stolen a lot of people's property. Myself, I'm missing a Dunhill lighter. I don't give a shit about the lighter itself. It's the serial number that was on the bottom was a combination to a cheap-ass safe that had to be cut open. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, good enough. And of course, you know, there's an Itronics Billbook 3 that they could return or pay me for anytime. It wouldn't bother me. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't need them. Yeah. But now, okay, so let's move on along from law enforcement, because we all know that they're crooked, and we all know that so far, oh yeah, the way to solve that, Mr. Trump, President Trump, I'm sorry, is go on ahead and fire the judges and the prosecutors who, when they have discovered these cops have committed crimes, when they discover this shit in the courtroom, and they have not referred it for prosecution, then judge gets fired, prosecutor gets, both of them get fired. No excuses, no chance of coming back to their job ever. Really simple way to solve the solution, solve the problem. You get rid of a bunch of judges on both sides of your crazy political spectrum crap. But we need to get rid of the bad ones anyway, and it doesn't matter whose side they're on, because if they were good judges, they would have been referring these cases for prosecution all along, but they never do. You know, how about the firearms enhancements? You have many judges and many prosecutors who have done, they've used up the firearms enhancement on civilians. But, okay, like the cop over here on the other coast that was planting meth in people's cars and got caught after how many times? And those are just the ones we know about. How many more times had he done it? Okay, first off, every case, every drug bust that he had anything to do with should be thrown out, because there's reasonable doubt on all of them. He was caught fucking putting that shit in people's cars. And he caught on body cam and caught on a couple of trap cams. And he was on duty, he was armed. That firearms enhancement, that extra 5 years for having one with you during the commission of a crime, did not happen to him. It should have. I mean, what's those billboards out there say? 5 years if you have one with you, 10 years if you pull it, 25 years or life, depending on which state you're reading that sign, if you actually use it during the commission of a crime. Yet historically, regardless of which state you look at, that's never been applied against a cop. It's been applied against civilians. Sorry. They don't deserve immunity. We're guaranteed equal justice under law. That means they should get the same penalties we do. They should get the same tickets we do. When they're parked in the handicapped parking spot down there, I can understand it if they're going in to get someone, but once that motherfucker's already in somebody else's squad car, get out the handicapped spot. Go park somewhere else. Or hopefully another officer will give them a ticket, which we know will never happen. Yeah, and I mean, it's little shit like that that it's been going on for years that has escalated the war on this faked up Patel and Blongo Boy war on police crap. And actually, it goes back to Thin Blue Line a little bit before Obama. I think they're the ones that really started promoting that bullshit. How about New York or Miami? Um, you've got cops that you have a right to liberty here in America. That means the right to liberty encompasses the ability to travel freely and unmolested. Now, in Miami, New York, even here in Sarasota County, if you go up by Bradenton, they like to stop you and bother you for ID, waste your time, make you late for work, wreck your fucking day. Yeah, and they're just looking, hoping you got a joint or something on you. And I'm illustrating here because weed's legal these days. Hell, get it through the mail if you want. But, and most of it's their profiling. Hey, that motherfucker might have something on him. I might have an easy bus. Let me go search this motherfucker. Fake up an ID check for no reason. Lie about this son of a bitch. And yeah, I'm sorry I have to say it that way, but try looking like this in the 80s or 90s, either or. In Miami, well, you got to darken up my beard a bit, driving a Mercedes. Door panels on that thing got fucking destroyed. There's no way to get that money back from them cops. There's no way I would trust that repair on that shit anyway. I mean, every time you go a little plastic, the first time them door panels come off, you can replace them little plastic things, anything you want to do. A week later, it's going to squeak. And that was a fairly brand new car. Let's move on up to Avoca, Iowa. Now you see, all right, I've got to put a little background in this. Even though I played contractor via Bosch, I've fucking bounced around, I've ended up somehow working with all 5 branches of our military and quite a bit of justice, although after an episode up in Yankee country, I wouldn't take another job with justice, no matter how much money you pay me. Because I don't like scumbags that brag about being able to break the law. I never have. I spent 8 years of my life either in prison or on the run over some checks I never fucking cashed because 2 scumbag motherfuckers in goddamn New Mexico lied. Every time I came back to the States, I had to deal with that shit. The only reason I signed their fucking plea bargain is because that was the only way to get out that day. Every time they picked me up, I great. Every time they was dumb enough to let me go, my ass was gone. And that was finally over with in '93 after 8 years of having to deal with that bullshit. And there was no way to get those cops or the prosecutor who covered for them in prison where they belong. Fucking belong. At all. Statute of limitations had expired. Ooh, yeah. You know what? Let's move on from the cops altogether. Let's go on to the Epstein list shit. I mean, that's fixing to be a big-ass nothing burger, isn't it? I mean, most of that stuff happens, outside the United States, where really U.S. law doesn't mean anything. The only law that would matter in relation to that island would be the law of that island, because it's my understanding that the government above them is not ours and allows the governor of the island to make the laws of each island. I have no idea if that's part of the treaty or some shit or what. But, okay. As far as what happened inside the United States, unless you can prove one, it's all outside the statute of limitations. And I don't get, Bondi fucking saying it's on her desk and she's going to release it, and then it disappears, and then Patel has it, and then it disappears again, and now it's got to be redacted, and finally, Congress has said release it unredacted, and I'm not sure if that was tinfoil hat crap or not about Bondi trying to redact it anyway afterwards. But maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But it's my understanding she was still trying to hold the shit up afterwards, after Congress had said let it loose. And, oh well, I'm not even bothering to read it because I hate politics. I should congratulate both the Republicans and the Democrats for destroying the internet with paid political promotions that resulted in clickbait artists making all kinds of money. Yeah, crap. Alright, I give up. But we'll holler at y'all later. How do I stop this damn thing? There it is. Thanks. Oh, that ain't it. Alright. So anyway, fuck it. We'll just keep going. Keep staying out yonder. That whole Epstein list crap is going to be big-ass nothing burger anyway. Everything's outside the statute of limitations, and not much of it actually happened inside the United States, except for some people joyriding on an airplane. Wow. But that's been stirred up for years and years and years and years. And you've got, what was it? What was that other crazy nutcase thing going around? Oh yeah, drain the swamp. Well, you know, most of us original old Asinons from the dinosaur days of CompuServe and AOL and BBSs that migrated onto the internet later, we don't believe it. Just don't believe it. We think that we scammed us a second time, President Trump, sir. We really do. And a growing amount of the regular people seem to be sharing that sentiment. Because I notice your non-paid support is dwindling from pretty much the entire internet. And even the clickbait artists are going back to picking on the fucking Democrats again. Actually, some of them are going back to picking on you again, sir. And I noticed on your own social media site that a lot of things Nazi are showing up, but in reality, those things are being pushed by Muslim propaganda mills, basically. Basically, for years, the Muslim propaganda mills have fed the neo-Nazis crazy shit. And the neo-Nazis are too stupid to even realize it. I mean, they're just, you know, blind hate, black through everything. They just hate everyone. Except for, you know, their supreme Aryan race, which, if I remember right, the Aryan race was supposed to be blonde hair, blue eyes, and half these guys are red hair, black hair, green eyes, brown eyes, you know. The fuck? Absolute. And you have your wonderful, what do you call them, your supposed Aryan Brotherhood has migrated from the prisons to your site in the form of basically meme bangers. I mean, the ones that are actually uploading and creating the memes, not the ones that are being fed by the muskrats. Parler, it seems to be a nice mix, but thankfully, finally, Parler is getting away from the damn politics. You know, the rest of the social media between the Democrats and Republicans in the past 20 years, of actually more than that, pretty much since the inception of the internet, it's been going on where the government has paid someone has been paid from government funds to promote one side or the other all along. And probably throughout most of it up until the beginning of Clinton, it was probably for both sides. which is a big, big part of the reason why I think the government should have never had control of the internet. But, oh well, it's what we got, it's what we got. We stuck with it. But all these paid promotions have saturated the internet to where it's just no fun anymore. It was early 90s, all the way up until the mid 90s, it was fun. It was campy, you know. I mean, early 00s even, days of MySpace. But you see, that's when things started going down. When all the paid shills started hopping on these social media sites for either political party. I don't give a shit which one. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, it didn't start with Michelle Obama saying, well, get in their face at Thanksgiving dinner with some political bullshit that they don't want to hear. And yeah, I'm paraphrasing, and it's not exactly what she said, but she did say get in their face with politics crap. Nobody wants to hear that crap. But you see, those paid promotions along those lines have also caused a societal change. Out in general public where I don't like to go because I can't even hardly walk into fucking Walmart to get a pair of pants anymore. But that and the average civilian, the average person, I just, oh man, I don't like stupid people. No, I like most people. I get along with most people. But you know, you got them ones that, oh, it's your fault that you got fucked up. You know, at that point, you don't even see a human being in front of you. You just see a fucking terrorist sympathizer, and you just have to walk away. Mostly because of cameras or witnesses that you like, but you have to walk away. I don't know how to explain that one. Yeah, and you always got the average Democrat retard. If you don't support Obama or Biden or whatever retarded fucking socialist commie candidate they're promoting this week, and I'm sorry, you know, all that socialism that they're promoting, actually I'm not sorry, all that socialism they're promoting is the same thing that a large chunk of my family came here to fucking get away from. Back in the 40s and 50s, mostly in the 50s. No. We don't need that shit in America. We can't afford it either. I mean, look at Canada. And I can get on the Republican side about, here we go, next one. Because the Democrats were the ones who, on the internet, messed up free speech. Well, before that, they were messing it up in real life. Because in the Constitution, you have this wonderful guaranteed First Amendment right, which guarantees you the right to speak freely without fear of repercussion. That gets trumped on a lot. You, sir, Mr. Trump, have done it yourself. Suing people over defamation because they said something bad about you. I'm sorry, that's just not right. They should be able to say whatever the hell they want. Simple as that. I think it's Mexifornia. They have an actual 5th degree assault, a verbal assault charge. You can get an assault charge for yelling at someone. That's not right. That's a violation of free speech. That's as simple as that. It's a violation of free speech. And if you look at England, the UK in general, Canada, hell, look at California. California, I think that's been fixed. I'm not sure. I think it got shot down. I'd have to look it up. California, they got a law that wants to enslave you. You know, if you don't call these people by their proper pronouns, then you can go to jail for that or be fined for it now. Well, I'm sorry, when you force someone to do something against their will, that is in fact the very definition of slavery. And me personally, I don't care if someone's gay, whatever. I mean, I don't care if they're digging up John Holmes and riding him like a cowboy. Not my business. I don't like it when they're showing that shit around and telling little kids that crap's okay. I don't like that at all. You know, I'm one of these people that left home at 12 years old, and I was not a victim of them, but I had a few of them try. I'll tell you straight up, first-hand and personal, you do not want to be hitchhiking around at 12 years old in the United States. There are too many gays. You know, so, yeah, my reason for being against those kinds of gays are well earned. Yeah, it's the same with all the things I said earlier about the police. If you want me, I'm friendly towards cops in public. I'm friendly towards cops as a general rule. But if you want me to trust or like any of them, I got to start seeing them go to jail. When they commit crimes, I have to start seeing them go to jail. I'm not saying arrest all of them. I'm not some Democrat liberal lunatic. But we've got body cam footage out the ass where officers have committed actual crimes and nothing has been done. Not one single thing. And, you know, again, now Los Angeles, here in Florida, we've got officers who know the RF sweet spots to kill a body cam if they need one. RF sweet spot means that there's enough RF radiation in the air that you can kill most electronics in a short period of time. A lot of cops know where those sweet spots are down here. Mexifornia, I remember reading a few years ago on the internet, they were complaining about the body cams. You know, well, you know what? First off, if we could have trusted you guys, officers, to obey the laws that you were sworn to uphold, you wouldn't need the body cams. And the easiest way to tell which ones were breaking the laws that they were sworn to uphold is look at which ones bitched the most. Look at which ones broke off that little antenna on the back of their squads. Yeah, this was back when you had a much older version of one of these. What is that? Power. Two of them are Power, and two of them are NEMA for the GPS. You had a much older version of one of these in those. And the cops would break the antenna off. And that was fucked up. Nowadays, we've got enough where you can put an SD card in it, live stream it at the same time, and if one of them dies, you'd still have the other, and hopefully that starts happening and the officers don't start messing with them. But, you know, you've always got them few bad ones. But it's cops, they'll never take the bad ones out. That's the problem. That is the actual problem in Homan and Patel and Bongo Boys' faked up war on police. And I say faked up for the simple reason that they're doing it for ad revenue, clickbait money. And these guys are professional websters to begin with. Not webmasters, just websters, because their teams are pretty good, but there's porno teams out there that can do a promotion a hell of a lot better with a lot shittier equipment. And we're talking amateur, well, not amateur, but very good level. But amateur grade physical equipment. I mean, I've got better shit laying right there than most of them guys doing those promotions even have. I mean, their server racks are beautiful, but their promotion machines are generally a joke. In fact, they're usually the last machine on the left that wasn't being used. And those machines sort of helped you get into office a couple of times. Even though the Republicans have fought the porn industry big time, I mean with tactics like Obama's first term, right before he got in. The Republicans were uploading kiddie porn to a bunch of these porn sites, and thankfully the site operators were on top of it and killing it. But what they would do is they would upload the porn to the fucking porn sites and then bitch all over the internet that that site had kiddie porn. And this was back in the days when we didn't have advanced AI checking everybody's face and bodies and shit as the videos were being ripped in. This was back when shit still had to be manually reviewed. Which a lot of it, even today, you pretty much got to manually review it because unless you're a mega fucking hosting rack with, you know, stacks of Google Geminis or Apollos, whatever you can afford behind you, you can't afford enough AI to identify everything, cross-reference it with NCI, so you shoot it out to every social media site in the world and do facial recognition and make sure you can't do it. And that's actually killed a lot of the smaller hosting racks, not just in the porn industry, but some of the system logging requirements for social media sites, etc., have literally killed off a lot of the smaller guys because they just can't afford it, and a lot of startups can't afford it either. And that brings into play another thing, Mr. Trump. You like to start into the vehicles with 15-year leases and 30-year mortgages, and let me compare that to what happened with Section 8 housing and government involved medical care. The prices go up. That's how that works. So now you have doomed the American public if that shit actually went through. That means that the prices are going to go up to where they need that 15-year or 50-year mortgage or 15-year car loan. Hell, I've never had a car that lasted 15 years. I've had motorcycles last that long because I drive them more, but I mean, 15 years to pay off a car, by that time it's worth what, 50 bucks, 200 bucks? It's the one that you're buying for 35 bucks when you land so you can get home. Fuck. And government should actually get out of private sector businesses. I disagree with you on that one. I don't think it's good that government is soaking more money into interference. Sorry about that. I see the can't hardly hear you, but I'm about to go anyway. There's almost no... Shit, now I distracted myself. Okay, so I covered that. I have to stay pretty much off the police, but, you know, that war on police bullshit, yeah, I've already expressed that I believe that to be pure D bullshit. And that's all it's ever been. There's a lot of things besides government being involved in all loans and all this that interfere with the economy. And how about while you're playing with the EPA, how about you do something really simple and make it to where, okay, you can make a vehicle, produce it, as long as it passes the EPA standards, you're fine. If it doesn't, well, hey, we're going to shut you down and fine you for whatever you made. But if it does, hey, you're free and clear. Because right now, it is almost impossible for manufacturing purposes to make a new, to get licensed and all the EPA bullshit you need. Fucking over $1 million for that shit. Just to make a damn motorcycle? Same with outboard engines. You can't make a diesel outboard. The fuck? 2 Yanmar D36s on the back of a 27-foot Carolina skiff diesels, suck down 1.6, 1.7 gallon an hour, max wide open at the same 40 mile an hour, 3,600 RPM as you get from 115 fucking horsepower Yamaha gas piece of crap back there, flat bottom skiff. That's why you're getting the speed at 3,200 RPM. That gas piece of crap is going to be sucking down well over 5, if not 6 gallon an hour. I'd have to look it back up to be sure, but I think it was about 5.6 to 5.8 average gallons per hour. And, you know, that's another thing. It doesn't fall to Florida. I mean, it does a little bit, but here in Florida, generally they won't bother a kid if they're under 12 years old or something. But the Keys is some kind of a federal wildlife marine sanctuary now, and they will bother a kid down there, regardless of age. I think they take it out on the parents. I'm not sure. I mean, I've only heard about it third and fourth hand from other people after the fact. I've never been involved in that mess. I personally always had saltwater products license and avoided the fucking Keys. But I didn't always have those, but you just avoid the Keys. But no, the feds will bother a 12-year-old, and that was part of growing up in Florida or the South, whether it's Alabama, Florida, Texas, it doesn't matter. If you've got water there, part of growing up is having a little fish tank, whether it's a bowl or a little 10-gallon or 20-gallon aquarium, and going out there and scooping you up a seahorse and bringing it home, or maybe a goby, or maybe a couple of really cool-looking, ugly-ass hermit crabs that, you know, you just want to watch them grow and feed. Or some people bring home, one kid had a glass grouper by mistake that he had gotten when it was like that, and almost went to jail for it because federal, not state, Fish and Wildlife wanted to make a stink. Hell, he didn't even know what it was. His parents never bothered looking it up either. That's what saved their asses. But that should never happen. Kids should be able to, you know, hell, a kid should be able to walk out there with a damn fishing pole if that's what they want to do. But, you know, a little jar and a hand net, they ain't hurting nothing. You know, maybe get Congress to, or whoever's in charge of those regulations, to back off on the 12-year-olds and under, because that's really messed up. And I understand no UAVs in the public parks. I mean, hell, half the UAVs, one of the UAVs that I played with was well over 4 feet long, 6 feet long. And some of those long rangers, hell, they were 8 and 10 feet. I think probably my favorite UAV was not the Lears project. My favorite UAVs were the ones that they used to send in with a camera in the nose. Actually, the camera was usually mounted underneath, kind of a hard point bomb mount, even though the fuselages on these things were styrofoam. But the ones that used to follow the missiles in so they could get that footage as the missile was hitting the target. And that was intentional mispronunciation. Tonopah, Nevada area. And yes, I know it's Tonopah. But I like the Tonopah joke better. And it kind of says hi to somebody at the same time. So, anyway, those who are watching, I can't see you from this screen, and my other one killed a minute ago because, as I said, I got to go pretty quick. And that shit's already popping up over there. So, we'll holler at y'all later, and I hope everyone understands that this is just if I was to do one of those silly Dear Trump letters like I keep seeing all over the internet. And President Trump, have a nice day, sir. We'll holler at y'all later. Hell, Where's the damn, there it is, there's the happy button.